Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chriscast. Can you hear that? Yes, that is the third Highlander cast in 5 days. We guys are spoiling you. We have yet more action from the pre-season qualifiers. Season 15 of Highlander and ETF12 is drawing ever closer. It is tantalizingly near now. We have one spot left to decide. We already have 5 confirmed teams. Elephant, Lucrosa, Budget Toucans were already decided before the playoffs. And earlier on in the week, we saw Failer Esports and Open Squad confirm their spots in Season 15 Premiership. We have 4 teams remaining and only 1 place left for them to fight for. So it's down to the wire. And we come into the lower bracket now, meaning there is no fallback. You lose here tonight and you are out. That is it. You have to play in the lower tier or not at all. And we have 2 semi-finals happening at the same time. On one side, we have Wasp, who were one of the top seeds and lost out to Failer Esports in the one match they needed to win. They are facing up against Little Team. And the winner of that will go through to the lower bracket final, while the game that we are covering is a game of, you could almost say David and Goliath. Very different experiences from both teams. In one corner, we have Tourette's French Club, aka Tourette's Chess Club. Double Prem champions in the past. One of the only 2 teams in history to have had that holy trifecta of Prem, Platinum, and a LAN title to their name at the same time. However, last season they finished bottom of the table in Premiership and got relegated, meaning they have to fight their way through here, and they already got knocked down to the lower bracket by Failer Esports. They come up against a team that is very new in name, but has some experienced faces in their lineup. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, or just MI6 for short, they managed to knock out Little Team, but could not overcome Open Squad in the upper bracket semi-finals. Therefore, they are here in the lower bracket, facing them tonight. And I think this is going to be a very interesting game. I am CJ. I am joined by the amazing V, who've done production as well. We got some noob casting with me. He's like, we looked for loads of different bucks. There was like, we went through 800 different bucks. Eventually, we got to the 824th buck. How's it going, man?
Hello, the prodigy returns. I'm back in business.
It's the holy grail. I mean, let's get some pog champs for the buck return.
The poggers and shit. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see like the new teams in the Prem qualifiers. Definitely, one of them is going to be the team that we're seeing now, MI6. So, gonna be looking forward to seeing how they do on the Badwater. Noticed this isn't the pro version that we've sometimes seen, so yeah, I'll have to wait and see.
It is interesting when you get these teams. You get to this stage of the season, and I guess it's not even the season yet, is it really? But you do get to this position where you're like, okay, we're going to start to see some new teams. We have seen, basically, of the teams available, only 2 of them are really new teams. I mean, Little Team and MI6 are the only brand new formed teams. The rest are previous rosters, but just kind of with new players. And it's always interesting to see how the likes. I mean, we all know the Failer experience. You know, we've seen them since in Premier League since season 9, in and out, and there's always a lot of changes. Joe and Layla, the 2 staples of the side, and then we get people kind of coming in and out, and we've had 7 changes on their roster alone, which is why they've had to go through qualifiers despite reaching the grand final last time around. Of course, we also have Open Squad returning after a season hiatus, as well as Wasp returning. Lots of familiar faces returning there, such as Zamperoni, Mezzo, Murphy, and on the side of Wasp, we have the likes of Morg, Imber, and Sprayer, but different lineups as always. But yeah, talking about the 2 teams here today, one kind of newly formed team with a lot of familiar faces, whereas Chess Club is basically, essentially the team we saw from last season. That pretty much disappointed back. I mean, how did you feel about Chess Club's performance in Season 14?
Like, considering who they were still up against, like, I mean, they were still up against, like, yourselves, the Strong Opinions, and also Super Ditmans, but, like, obviously there's been quite a bit of reform since then. But, yeah, I feel like they probably might have been, like, I don't know, some communication issues, or, like, maybe, like, availability issues. I'm not sure how many like of the matches they had all their mains playing and that sort of thing. Like I wasn't fully keeping track, but yeah, I feel like they'll be looking for definitely for some redemption if they're like really serious about getting back into this. Like, and on the side of MI6, like as you say, this is kind of a new name, but like we've got like the likes of like Gorston and Woolen, who have like been around for quite a while now. As well as like some people like Yak and TK who are like also playing, and Vori. So we'll have to see how they kind of go up against the likes of possibly like a new and improved chess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same Sixes team as Yak. He's on my team, and he said about making a Highlander team that was going to try to go Prem. We all laughed at him because our Sixes team has the likes of me and Seal and Toast, who've won Prem. We were just like, no, Yak, you're not suited for Highlander. Because the last time Yak played in Prem Highlander, for those of you who aren't as haven't been around as long as some of us, he played for the UKIP team. He was leader of UKIP back in season 8, I believe, 7 or 8. It's the only team in ETF Duel history to play in Premiership and not get a single point. That's a fact we remind him of all the time. But he was saying, I'm building a new team. And we were like, dude, just don't. But then he started mentioning some of the names he got, and I was like, okay, actually, you've got a decent team. And they absolutely rolled Little Team in the upper bracket semi-final. They just pounded them. And I think Chess Club they struggled against Failure. They've got big names on their roster. There's a lot of Highlander players there, but there was not that much cohesion, and that's something that disappointed me, because last season, like you said, a lot of scrappy lineups. They started off with about 3 different demos in 3 weeks. I think Eames played one, and then Quintosh played one. Eventually, they decided with this Frenchified lineup. But it kind of flattered to deceive in the end, because tactically they just seemed to struggle against Failure, which surprised me because Failure was basically a new roster thrown together as well. So we'll have to see what happens here. We do have quite a lot of mercs, it seems. I'm going to quickly run down the MI6 roster. That's Majesty's Secret Service. We're just calling him MI6 for short because, hey, I've only got a certain amount of words. I can use them one day. On Scout, they're going to have Vori. On Soldier, they're going to have Charlie. 2 big names in 6s these days, I guess. Charlie played in Prem recently for, I believe it was Nunya. And Vori's been playing in High, doing well for himself. On Pyro, we have Gorston. 1 High with Mega Killers all the way back in Season 8. Then I went on to play for the likes of High Panda and back up for Strong Opinions. Joseph, a.k.a. Yak, like I said, played for UKIP back in the day and then plays in a decently high level in 6s as well. Ballsy, probably more well known as Scrambled, the Scottish heavy, used to play for the likes of the Bureau. We have TK playing NG. Now, I think they had Bonobo as their main, so I'm not sure if he's not available, and that's why they've got TK playing, who has played for Failure in the past for as an engineer and as a pyro. We have Torrit on Medic, very experienced Medic. Not so much in Highlander, I would say, but apparently he's been doing well for himself. Spirit is on Sniper. I've played a lot with Spirit over the years. He was back up on Strong Opinions a few years ago, as was Woolen on Spy, who has done very, very well in seasons for the likes of Stacked and STCK as a backup and as a main, and he'll be playing the Spy class minus the Ambi, I guess, because it's 2018 buck, and you can't use Ambi as well anymore. But tell me about Chess Club.
Right, so for Chess Club, I think we're going to be having Olga on Scout. I assume Justice is going to be playing Soldier as a Merc, because I think they've got a few Mercs in this time. Simrise, I think we'll be playing Pyro. Kalis on Demo. Kresnik, the legendary American heavy, will be playing heavy for them. Deox on NG. I think we've got Kufel possibly on Med. And then Tracker on Sniper with Kazul on Spy. Or is it Demento on Spy?
I think Demento's on Spy because Kazul's missing.
Yeah. So, quite a few Mercs this time. I wonder if that'll be a detriment to them against this game, but we're about to go live, so take it away.
Yeah, so we are going to have MI6 in the blue. The Chess Club will be in the red. So that means MI6 will be attacking first, and Chess Club will be defending as long as they can. And then they'll be swapping teams with Chess Club, trying to beat the time set. This is basically a best of 3. So we've got best of 3 maps, but on Payload we have best of 3 rounds as well. So it's whoever can win 2 attack defense rounds. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Highlander pedigree on Chess Club as well. Kresnik won a couple of UGC Platinum titles in NA with Kids Next Door. Deox did play Engineer. I mean, him returning to Engineer surprises me. He played in Season 9. He also played on LAN with Checkers at Deutschland. But yeah, a few mercs. One big merc for me is going to be Tracker.
Yep.
Arguably one of the best snipers over the past few seasons. We talk about the Giants, and I would say Tracker is up there as one of the best. I know a lot of the snipers have great respect for him, but yeah, here we go. We are live, and I saw some interesting strats, Buck, from Pyros using the jetpack. So it'll be interesting to see whether we're going to see Gorston running that, or whether he's going to go for the more traditional run-in and just kind of try and cause chaos.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I think he's heard you, and he's going to go for it. The Soldier Bomb's in right now as Gorston goes for a jetpack. The Sentry's enwrangled though, and does a good job of denying most of the damage. Soldier comes back in for a last thing, but similar to the reflect, so nothing going to come from that initial suicide. But yeah, the introduction of the jetpack has definitely been a cause of concern, like especially on the initial suicide waves on payload, I feel. So there will definitely be more use of it, and like, you know, teams will have to have their heads up in order to mitigate any damage that might cause.
Yeah, exactly. I feel where Gorston was going from, there's a little bit too much. You're too much in the Sentry sightline. You need to get a little bit closer and then go in. But it looks like they're bringing the Uber straight out here. But the sticky trap takes down Joseph. That's Yak. For those of you in the know. And no demo, you really don't want to push with this. So Kalis is just kind of laying some stickies, and it looks like Ballsy is going to get taken down there. So they're kind of losing players out of sync here. And it's not great, but there we go. Woolen with the stab. That's going to open things up. No sniper for the defending team is huge on this first point. We can actually see Joseph there going in through the tracks, trying to get some spam down, but Justice is doing a great job. But huge snipe! Huge snipe from Spirit! Haven't seen him for a long time, but he takes down Kufel there. I do believe that was a drop, but huge plays here.
Yeah, I just noticed the Tracker, like, you know, going down Woolen call. The smart decision to just move up with the help of his scout and just moved in, and that pick just, you know, was a catalyst for the rest of the push basically. So they're gonna get a lot of card time. They got a lot of people down though right now, so they need to be careful, like pushing forwards too aggressively here. But they're gonna regroup for this sort of semi-second orb, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the saving grace there for Chess was the fact that Demento managed to get the backstab onto Turret there. If he hadn't have done that, Turret would have had a huge Uber advantage for second here, and I'm pretty sure MI6 would have been able to roll it onto second and onto third. Chess trying to do this strat onto second, and this isn't a great strat if you haven't got your flank up. Says Justice is alone, and he's lower, he's underneath. So the sniper here has got decent rain onto, oh no, Turret! Oh my god! Oh, he goes down! He did a little surf, almost cratered, but he clipped onto a little ledge there. And Justice just had to click in his face and take him down. So medic down now for MI6. Really difficult for them to get some aggression going on here. Joseph and Woolen are trying to on the cut, and they may actually get this essentially for free here. Buck Kufel does have 100% Uber, but MI6 have they've just pushed the spawns back.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to MI6 for actually sort of like not giving up there. Woolen and Yak just sort of getting on the cart, pushing it forwards, like despite everything that happened on the roof. But you know, Tourette's have like sort of realised this, so they're going to come back, set up this third hold. They're going to try and, well, they've got the sniper in the windows. Deox hasn't got his sentry forwards, but as I say that, Gorston's trying to W forwards. Gets a lot of damage onto Kufel, but he is safe for now as the demo's trying to fight alone.
There was actually a med pick there. Tracker just doming Turret, and everyone else just falls by the wayside. Kufel is basically untouched. Nobody has managed to get close to him and deal any sort of significant damage, at least to get that force out. So now it's going to be basically this legendary, this mythical third hold that people say is impossible to break. It's all about finding the way to break that hold. Spirit there gets a snipe from Boiler, but it's only a scout. He really wants to get something bigger than that, but he's rotating now through to main, see if he can get anything done. Trying to get a sightline onto someone important, but he's obviously got Tracker to deal with, who's next to that sentry. Kind of a nice bodyguard to have. But yeah, MI6 just kind of losing players, and they're just kind of waiting for their Uber back. They're not sending in any suicides.
Ooh, Careless gets picked there. It's a massive demo pick on the side of the defense, so no demo to deny them from walking in here. Like, they should try to realize that they have Uber advantage though. Like, they need to be careful they don't just get pushed off, and it's gonna be a bit like less of a threat now that the demo's dead. But, you know, Scout and Pyro could just walk through any time. But you know, they do have a heavy there to protect them. They're gonna try and consider where to come from. The Uber does get. Oh, the Ubers get traded right now. It's not really achieve much though. Like, they're not gonna get any sentry pick from this, or like any mid pick really. So kind of just a back and forth.
Yeah, it's about kind of getting that huge pick, and no one's getting that huge pick on the attacking team. You see how weak everybody's Sinrise goes down there. Too ballsy. Everyone was so weak, Kufel and Kalis particularly, and they're trying to get aggressive, but unless you get an opening there, that level 3 sentry, while wrangled with a sniper next to it, it's really, really difficult to break. Willen managed to take down Justice. That's going to open up the flank a little bit. And you can see MI6 are trying to get in through the flank here. And then we see the Soldier doing a good job. It's Charlie trying to take that upper area, but he goes down there eventually to Kresnik. Gorston actually manages to jump up there now. He's trying to get aggressive. Can he get onto the engineer? He actually, oh my word, Tracker there with the reflexes manages to take down the medic, and then Gorston with a body shot, saving his engineer. That could have been a huge play from the veteran Pyro, but it doesn't work out in the end. Kufel with a huge advantage. Seems like we've been saying that a few times here, Buck, but MI6 kind of struggling to really make a play on the medic.
Yeah, there's just sort of like reconsolidate what they're going to do. I mean, there's some sticks still up. He's going to try and like peek this top right side, but I think they need to kind of like less commit to like this top right side. When they went boiler, they seem to get a lot more space, and like I've seen like quite a few teams try and do the boiler push. Like, you basically just sit your heavy next to your sniper as he peeks, and if you get the sniper pick, it's like so good to actually try and get some space on that top balcony. But at the moment, Kufel with a 50% advantage is sitting very comfortably.
Yeah, and just take a look at Kresnik here. Kresnik is the man to dislodge, basically. This upper area is the most important part of third. And there we go, Spirit takes him down. So, really good pick from him. I would say that's the most important pick right now. That's really opened up this upper side. We can see Justice is responding using the conch just to keep his team a little bit of speed, a little bit of health back. Ballsy is all the way in. He's actually trying to snipe Sinrise here with the Tomislav. He's going to get just totally destroyed there by the flank. And it's a drop there from Turret as Demento just comes in. It looked like they were doing so good. Spirit takes down Tracker, but it's a little bit too little too late for MI6, and they're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised they didn't just kite that conch. Like, they knew they were going to get Uber, and like they already had the heavy, like the heavy pick is quite big on this, because like it means that your flank can just jump the window for free. So with the sentry that far back, there's literally nothing else denying them when their combo's not there. So I don't know whether they didn't just sort of kite, get the heals round, but they're going to try and push main now. Level 3 is going to be wrangled to try and shoot them off it, but they're kind of giving them space here as Justice is trying to spam them out.
Yeah, you can see the aggression, and that's a decent shank there from Willen. Takes down Justice, so there's no Soldier, no Pyro. This could be a decent dry push now from MI6. They just need to be careful of that wrangled sentry and Tracker. They're just watching that sightline. Spirit goes down to Demento, so there's no sniper pressure from them either. And wow, Kresnik there just denying Joseph, but Willen takes down Kufel in return. So probably a decent enough trade. Turret with 100% just needs to wait for the respawns so that his team can push in, and this is the biggest opportunity they've had on third so far.
Yeah, Simrise going down as well is not going to be very good for the defenses. They've got no blast to deny. Level 3 is still up though, so good job by Deoxys to sort of keep that alive. The Uber's going to come in. There aren't that many players in this Uber though. It's just a demo sort of spamming. They're going to try and get cart pressure. Kresnik's done this top area on like decent-ish health as he gets spammed. They'll be walking in though. Nice stab onto the heavy there from Demento, as they might try and push back this in, but I mean with 3 down, they could probably afford to.
You can see they've got the cart like a few yards closer, and the sentry did go down, but the important play to take out is Kresnik. If a heavy is up in that area, he can deny soldiers jumping, he can just deny the cart, he can deny boiler. As we see Teox, his sentry is doing a little bit of work, takes down 2 important classes there, and Track is going on a bit of a mad one right now. Takes down Spirit and Vori in quick succession, and it is equal Ubers, but that sentry's got back up now. Deox is placing it in its usual position, and that's the problem. You can't get access to this sentry very easily. If you wrangle it, it's going to push people away physically as they try to come forward. And when you Uber, you basically the enemy team just needs to counter the Uber and push forward. And in the end, you have pretty much a nullified Uber. As we see another trade here, Joseph not taking much of it. Kresnik goes down to Spirit. That's the opening. Somebody needs to take that high ground now. Get some pressure on the sentry. Woolen's on the cut, maybe trying to spy cap it, but Deox is highly aware to that. Sunrise just checking around if it was a dead ringer. It is not. You are safe for the time being. And MI6 got some good picks there, but just not making the opening.
Yeah, Charlie kind of jumped behind during Uber, but like it kind of really wasn't to any avail. But they somehow managed to cap the car in the meantime. Like God knows how that happened, but probably just walking forwards uncontested apart from the sentry. Sentry is very low. I think it will go down as they're going to try and possibly think about a last hold here.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about getting that cap, the reason why this cap is so important is because it pushes the forward spawn up for blue team. They now don't spawn all the way back, they spawn really close to this third point, and it means you get more pressure on that choke. There is an Uber in the hands of Kufel. Torrid goes down to the stickies of Kalis. He's just lobbing them forward, takes them down, and that's an easy medic frag for his logs. Charlie, though, takes down Tracker and Justice, so kind of winning the flank battle there. Going to get some pressure on. Woolen tries to go for something, but doesn't quite manage to make it work as Deox gets his wrench out. We can see Olga in the skybox is going to crater. Well, Joseph takes him down with those stickies. And Spirit then just has something against Kresnik. Maybe he doesn't like it Americans. He just keeps taking down that heavy. And maybe that's an opening for MI6 to get some pressure and force his Uber out.
Yeah, it's a smart rotation around to Tyres after they sort of like basically fed in the tracks, but Torrid is trying to look for his life here. He's not going to get chased anymore though, he's on 40%-ish. As Kufel is healing his demo up to try and deny them from coming in. They do get like quite a few losses and they're not really in a place to push right now, so they should be able to just sort of rebuild and get the Uber back again, but they do have a bit of ad on the side of the offense.
Yeah, I mean they've got this Uber advantage now, and it's all about how they use it. Olka goes down, so that's a pick of some sort, and no spy to worry about for 20 seconds. But it's all about where they're going to push, and they're going to push in from Tyres here. They do know there's a lot of spam coming in. The sentry's in a spammable position, but Joseph goes down, demo down, and you really want your demo in a push like this, don't you, Buck?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to try and kill a sentry, and also the fact that like Tracker rotated to that position is extremely smart. He knows where his sentry is, so if the demo manages to spam pipes from there, this is a really strong sentry position by the way, if it's actually not contested by a demo, because it basically just denies all the soldiers trying to feed in and stuff like that. So, you know, Tracker rotating there, denying that sight line, but the sentry's going to get pulled back as they try and flood him through main right now. You need to be careful as Tracker is kind of uncontested, does get the heavy, does get the sniper as well, as he's just getting free range to snipe everyone as the Uber gets traded.
I feel Yak or Joseph, the demo, is getting taken down, getting dropped from these Ubers quite a lot. It just seems he's the focus of getting that priority pick, I think. But then we see Woolen there with a couple of kills, and actually there's only 3 players alive now for Chess Club. If MI6 flood in there, which they are doing, Justice goes down. Kalis and Kufel are hiding underneath here. Surely Gorsta just comes in, bam bam. Degreaser is going to take him down. TK with the finishing kill. That's a medic pick for his NG logs. There are some respawns now for Chess Club, but it does look like MI6 have the better positioning. Vori on a 5k is going to deny Tracker from getting any more snipes. And in the end, it is going to be a time, as actually no Chess Club are blocking this. They're saving seconds here. You never know when those might count. 12:52 is the final time. That is a long time. I mean, those few seconds may not count. I am going to say the other day when we watched Wasp versus Phaler, the cart actually went in during the round, like, defeat message.
Oh, so, I think I saw that actually.
Yeah, it was like literally less than half a second between winning and losing. So those extra few seconds, you never know in a game whether these could count, but still, Chess Club have a lot of time to play with here.
Yeah, their last hold, like, I mean, well, the last offense was actually alright. Like, they managed to get it in 2 to 3 pushes, I think. But, like, their third was where they lost so much time. I think there was probably one opportunity where they probably could have got it a bit earlier. But, like, I think they kind of just started, like, feeding halfway through the actual third push. Like, after they had some disads. Oh, actually, no, I think when their med had an Uber ad, but, like, they like, kind of lost some people. Couldn't really get together quick enough. Like, yeah, 12:51, not the best of times, but it's not impossible. So we'll have to see how long they get off first, possibly.
Definitely. I mean, I've played games where we've had a long time and then we've just held the enemy team at third. If you get a decent hold on one of these points, it's totally possible to just deny them from even capping last. But yes, Chess Club, they can afford to make a few mistakes here. Maybe take some risks. They have a lot of time, and the first person to die of this half is actually Deox, and Tracker gets sniped there by Spirit. Demento is dominating Spirit as he takes him down soon afterwards, and actually he's still alive, so maybe make a split. You know, he walks into Vori, or Vori walks into him rather. He's actually hunting for the spy right now. Just waiting for the suicides from Chess though. See if they actually make a play. Justice looking like he's getting in position now. Kalis with the 2 stickies jumps in. Can he get the force? He's getting some decent damage down, but none of it goes onto Turret, so he's not going to be worrying about forcing. And actually, they survive with a full complement of players here, Buck, and their Uber. So that's as pretty much as good as a denial of the suicide run. I mean, Demento does get ballsy there. That is something, but still looking okay for MI6.
Demento doing a lot in the back lines, jeez. Managed to get the heavy. I was actually surprised he didn't die for that. It does get spoiled by the Pyro though with some unlucky flames from Gorston. But yeah, they're going to try and walk up to this hillside right now. Still have the sentry. It's taking quite a lot of spam though, as they managed to snipe the Pyro. Kalis trying to go in, does get a lot of spam onto the mid, does sort of force them. I think the mid is still in a safe position on the side of the offense. Kufil sitting in spawn. But they managed to get the cap, so kind of in a weird position right now as the mid goes down.
That is essentially a back cap as Deox just walks in, takes down Turret, not soon after helping to take down the demo as well. So nearly a wipe if it wasn't for Vori just kind of hiding around in yard. They just got sandwiched there. They just had their flank pushing in through the tunnel, pushing that cart. There's no way you can stress how important it is to get cap time in Highlander. Just get people on the cart while your combo is doing the fighting. You see Turret here, he's on third. He's actually in the sniper sight lane. Oh, Tracker almost gets him. He's so very weak. We actually see the aggression coming in from Chess. They're already on third. I haven't even counted a second yet. Turret goes down to Demento. Lots of frags coming in here. They have so much ground. They are just getting slaughtered here, Buck. Kufel is fighting Woolen in the stairs, but nobody is able to stop this sentry from going up. But it's just a level 1, so it can't look over the ridge. It's not going to deny anyone there, as Tracker is just allowed free reign to snipe. But the backstab from Woolen may buy them a little bit of breathing room here.
I'm actually surprised with how aggressive and like quick that push was, that they still managed to lose players. And because I mean the car was still far back, which is fair enough. But like they're actually sort of coming back onto this defense now, with like roughly even Ubers somehow. So let's see how this goes from now. But yeah, that was a good example of just, you know, keeping up the momentum there from Chess Club. So yeah, good to see that they sort of just like knew they had a lot of momentum, just kept going and get the frags.
That's the best way. The best way to push third is to not let the enemy team actually have anyone there. I mean, Chess did exactly what I think. This isn't what they did not do against Phaler. So clearly they've learned from their mistakes, but Spirit with a nice little headshot there onto Kresnik manages to just slow down the Chess push. They do lose their flank here in MI6. They have to be careful. There's going to be some pressure from Boiler. You can see Justice just babysitting Tracker there. Tracker takes down Ballsy. This is what the sniper wants to do. He wants to take that heavy out, and the Uber comes in. We're going to see a soldier or somebody try and take that upper area. Justice is trying to get in position now, but this Uber is just being denied. Turret hasn't actually used his yet. Gorston's gone down, so it's going to be really difficult. You see 4 players from the Chess team are actually on the sentry. They're up in the house. Joseph and Turret are not going to get out of here if they don't decide to back off. There we go, the snipe from Tracker. TK goes down as well, and they're just getting absolutely destroyed.
Okay, Turret decided rather than go last, he decided to go up into the balcony, not realizing his team was mostly dead. So he's going to go down there for not much worth. But yeah, good job by Chess Club to just take the space here. Gonna try and roll this momentum again onto last, as Spirit gets a nice pick onto the scout as they're trying to walk through. Kufel needs to be careful he doesn't get sniped here. Vori's on him as well. Kresnik's trying to go for the heavy pick while Kufel's getting shot with a pistol in the back. Does survive for now as the cart is slowly moving forward. There's a lot done on the defense right now, and Demo sticky camping.
It's not just the amount, but it's the players that are dead as well. Pyro, Demo, Heavy, these are all players you need alive, as well as your medic, as Tracker adds another med pick to his logs. He's just going on fire right now. Someone stop this man. 5 players on the cart for Chess. Justice decided that's too many. I'm going to go into the spawn, get some damage down on these players who are trying to get out. Demento goes to spawn camp. He doesn't even need to. Chess pushed this in just over 4 minutes. They had 8 minutes left on the time there, Buck. They had so much time spare. I mean, what was so successful there for Chess? What was so good about them that made them cap so quickly?
Honestly, I think they just had the confidence from the first push. Like, after the first push, like, they just sort of all went forwards, like, basically just cascaded into third, and took the space they needed to. But then even after they kind of lost that space, they then managed to regain it again, because they just knew what picks they needed to get. The heavy went down the top as well, and then they managed to get everyone into the upper area, and then their mid got caught out, Torret just like going down quite late, and yeah, it just ended up with a really small time.
I think it's kind of, it can't be understated, the power of individuals. Like, if one player is just popping off like that, it's so hard to kind of get your head in the game, especially if it's a pick class. We take a look at the logs. 2 players got over 20 kills there in 1955. Tracker with 24 and Demento with 27. The thing with Demento, I saw on first there was a moment where he was managed to backstab the heavy, drop down, survive, and then kill somebody on the cart as well. I think it was the soldier. So yeah, I mean, probably the sniper. So he's getting picks and he's not getting cleaned up afterwards. And whether that's just people not calling or just not fast enough reactions, or Demento's just insanely good at dodging right now. But I mean, there's not really much to say apart from looks. I mean, over 500 damage per minute from a spy. You know, non-spies will say damage is bugged for spies. Spy mains tell me it's all okay, but it's crazy damage from a couple of players there. Tracker 397, Justice 476. I mean, when your demo man is kind of 4th highest damage in your team, he's either doing terribly or the rest of your team is just doing really, really well. And I think when your pick classes are just getting that many frags, I mean, getting 51 frags, it's very hard to kind of stop that.
I think as a good judge, actually, I like to look at the kills to headshots of the sniper. Tracker got 24 kills and 25 headshots, so you know what I mean? That's probably, that's a lot of damage coming out. And shout out to Justice as well, like 9,000 damage, like that's huge. He did so much damage like during that game, so that's really good to see from him.
I mean, take a look at the medics. Kufel only died 3 times in 20 minutes there. Torret died 10, so just seemed to be more pressure on Torret than there was on Kufel. But we are into the second round here. And we are going to see Chess pushing first this time. They are in the blue, MI6 in the red defending. So exactly the same as before, just swaps teams. And sometimes it's easier to start defending. You kind of get an idea of how quickly you need to push. And Spirit there, first pick of this new round, takes down Tracker. Clearly a lot of pressure is going to be put onto that man on this next round, Buck, because they can't allow him to have that much freedom again.
Yeah, Demento, well, Spirit going Razorbacks because he knows that he's going to get targeted by Demento, so probably a pretty wise decision. Torret is going to be sitting comfortably right now with the sentry watching the tunnel. Carl's moved it quite quickly though. Deox and Olga doing a good job of pushing that in. So quite weak right now. Not sure there's going to be another suicide though. Oh, as I say that, Justice is going to be bombing in as Sunrise walks in as well. Oh, the mid drops to a reflex rocket.
My days.
Somehow. That was probably not a wise decision by Charlie there to shoot.
That was. I don't think it was Charlie. Charlie was dead. It was the sentry rockets.
Oh my
Sunrise
God.
reflects the sentry rockets and takes down the medic for a drop. That is absolutely insane. I mean, you can't help that as an engineer. It's not really your fault. 100% Uber in the bank for Kufel now. Chess in a really commanding position to take this first point. I'm not sure why Torret and Ballsy and TK are still on this first point. They can try and fight this, but it's really inadvisable. Olga's trying to pressure the cart. Gorson's surely going to clean him up there. But the Uber is still in the hands of Kufel. Chess could get aggressive here, but and just catch everybody out.
I'm actually surprised Chess weren't even more aggressive than they were. Like, they saw Torret sitting on the top with like 10% Uber. They had Uber and a demo right next to them with Kufa, and like, I think they were like slightly scared to go forward. I don't know, maybe they were just clearing up people behind. But yeah, Torret's gonna get out now. So yeah, like Torret now has 8%, so they basically have an Uber to contest a second with if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, 3 players down here. Torret has got Uber in the bank now, and it's probably just a decent idea for them to back off onto third, get a decent setup. It doesn't matter if you lose the first 2 points quickly. It's all about how much time you can gain on that third point and how much you can eke out on that last point. But you can just see Tracker here. He's running the Razorbacks, so he's not getting a buff. after that new change, and it doesn't really matter because you don't need a buff to snipe a medic and drop his Uber. Chess could win this in a very, very fast time if MI6 aren't careful. They're already on third. No medic, no heals for MI6. So Uber is used. Gorston does the best he can to try and deflect this away. Vori is in behind, maybe trying to clean up some people from behind. Woolen does take down Kalis. There is no Demo Man in this fight now. And there is a level 2 sentry from TK. Joseph is coming in from behind. He could get some damage onto Kufel. He's trying to lay the stickies. He does take down the medic. So MI6 just fingernails here, Buck, but they're holding in.
It's kind of brave for them to just walk all the way with just a pyro in a mid. But they do fall down eventually as, you know, Sentry has come up from TK. So level 3 good deny that, does to pick up Deox on the cart as Kalis is wisely backing out. As trying to reconsolidate again. They've got the Taurus back in, and the sniper gets a pick onto the tracks. So it looks like they will be defending this just for a bit for now.
This is big. I mean, the cart is up that little ledge, which makes it easier for people to get those cheeky caps while you're not looking. But, I mean, MI6 kind of just clutching it here, really. Just big plays from individuals are actually keeping him in this game. And sometimes you need that. But there we go. Spirit with a collateral takes down Tracker. They do lose their Demo Man in that chaos. But it's probably not too bad. But TK died there. He's died to a backstab from Demento. So somehow Demento got up the stairs past the dispenser. And then backstabbed TK and stabbed his sentry. This all doesn't matter because Spirit has decided he's going to do what Tracker does and take down the medic. So just frags everywhere right now, Buck.
Oh, Tracker looking for a sight onto this onto turret though. He does sort of see him, does decide to switch to the heavy. But I think he's going to be safe in. I think for the spy before, I think Demento may have took the telly. For some reason he had the telly behind the sentry in front of the dispenser. So I'm not sure he did. So I'm not sure. They might have had the dispenser kill before, but the Uber just come out onto the tracks. Kufil's sort of low, not really chased as much as the sniper doesn't decide to drop down and shoot him. But
they pick up a couple of frags. I mean, getting an NG and a spy when you're defending isn't going to be the biggest picks in the world, and Kufel is going to have an Uber advantage, but he's only about 20%. He's not building great. And you know, when you're kind of trying to buff your sniper and he's got Razorback, you're not going to be building as much as you maybe would normally if you're just tanking a sniper in a general position. So just looking at Joseph there, just absolutely launched into the sky. And we can see some free cap time being taken here by Chess Club, and Kalis is trying to spam upstairs. Oh my days, he takes down 2 with the pipes. Demo and Heavy are down. Spirit takes him out and takes out Kufel as well. Oh my god, Spirit, what year is this? Is it 2016 again? Spirit turning on. He gets taken down by Tracker, but probably kept his team on this point. They've only got 5 alive, but they've almost got Uber. If they could just hold out a little bit longer and get down, keep this sentry alive, who knows? But Justice is in behind. He does take down TK. The sentry is still alive. Demento is probably going to try and sap it soon. Yeah, Chris, this is just chaos.
Kresnik managed to destroy it. It's very much chaos right now. Massive shout out to TK. They actually managed to keep the sentry alive for quite a while until Justice kind of ended his spree. Kresnik is going to try and walk forwards now as Ballsy is going to be alone on the cart as Olga is trying to get the cap time. Gorston holding W at a revved up heavy, not a smart decision. Going to be trying to back around this corner as they do lose quite a few players on the defense, so they need to be very careful they don't just get rolled there.
558 after 3 points isn't the worst thing in the world, especially as Kufel died there. So they are going to have an Uber for last. That does mean they should be able to hold out for at least, you know, 60 more seconds. And they are building a sentry. So this last point, not as good, but big moment from Justice. He does take down turrets.
Oh my god.
I mean, he hits the dispenser, but you can't hide in the dispenser once it's destroyed. And manages to take down turret. No medic for the defending team. Huge play there from Justice. And that does mean Kufel once again has Uber advantage in his hands. 50% for him. And looks like Chess are going to start to walk it. They're getting ready to walk it in already. They have to be careful of Spirit. He has been playing well on this round, but Sinrice with a nice reflect there. Takes down Charlie. He's just opening up that flank for Chess to kind of walk in. Demento takes down Spirit. He's deciding not to run the Razorback, I think. And it's causing him, this is to his detriment right now as Demento seems to be focusing, giving Tracker a lot of space. He gets another frag onto Ballsy. The Uber comes in. That sentry is just going to get mulched there. Lots of players dead. Turret going to get cleaned up. And it's all down to the flank now to try and block this cart for as long as they can.
Yeah, like, massive plays by Demento there to get some frags that they really needed. Sentry goes down with ease, and Deox has even got a mini just to deny the cart for a bit as the cap does come in for a 7-minute 24 time. So already a much faster time than we've seen before.
Definitely. I mean, if you want to take it as look at it from like you know every cloud has a silver lining, right, Buck? You know, trying to make things look good. If you're on the MI6 team now, I will be saying, hey, they capped us in 4 minutes last time, so that's an improvement. And if this was a regular Prem game from a regular season, and a team capped in 7 minutes, you'd probably be like, okay, fair enough. That's okay. That's a decent time to hold, and we can beat that. I would say, considering it took them nearly 13 minutes to cap last time, they need to have significant improvement on this attacking phase to actually get something done. But who knows? All it takes is a cheeky drop here or there, and it could open the ways for them. And with players like Spirit and Woolen doing pretty well so far, you never know what could happen. But it just seems that there's bigger picks coming out of Demento and Tracker right now, and they're opening the doors for Chess, whereas it's more reactive from MI6. Like, Spirit is getting these big picks just to keep his team in the game.
I'm actually quite surprised to see how effective the assassin classes have been, like, just on this map alone. Usually, like, I mean, admittedly the sniper is usually quite effective. Spy, like, usually is a bit of a nuisance to the, like, NG. But yeah, they've been doing really well, like, on both sides, and meanwhile on the flank, Justice has been doing a lot of damage and work. So, but no very quick suicides, so I think they're going to try and go through tunnel, maybe?
Yeah, I'm looking at Gorston, and he's not running the jetpack. Actually tries to come in and tries to get something. Justice and track it down. So that's going to be a lot of space for Spirit. You look how fast Spirit is. He's actually surfing it away. Oh, he actually survived, but the Wrangler catches him out. But you can see how far forward Spirit managed to get up there. That's the kind of space you want your sniper to have on that far side. And they're getting down the right classes to do that. You see the cart is already all the way through. Big jump in from Charlie. It takes down the dispenser, but that's about it. Doesn't get a force off, but the cart's in a decent position right now, and this is where you start to think about bringing your medic out, getting that Uber exchange, and try to play off of that.
Yeah, Kufel's gonna be still sitting here. The Tracker just gets sniped onto the heavy, and Spirit returns in favor, but gets killed himself by Tracker as he's sitting here. But Woolen returns again, killing him. So a lot of people going down on this rock side and this hillside. There's no other suicides coming in right now. But as you say, the cart is getting quite close.
Yeah, you can see the spam coming in from the tunnel. Kresnik's actually very low, and these rollers are kind of doing decent damage. Woolen gets a backstab onto the Pyro, so no Sinrise, no Reflex. TK is actually just capping the cart versus Olga. And this is a really interesting strat here from MI6 and deciding to just focus this cart and almost tried to sandwich it, but no, Tracker just point blank takes down the medic. No need for anything else. If you take down the medic, everyone else can just come in and clean up. Tracker's the only person dead. Throws down a cheeky gun down bind. And so close. I mean, we're talking about like millimeters more to cap there. So it almost worked for them, but it's taken them nearly 2 minutes to get this far.
So the thing is with this cap as well, like even if they technically they could still come in, but like even now, like there's a lot of space being taken. Gun goes down. Deox needs to be careful. Like if he can manage to get up and set up, that'd be like pretty big. But Vorid has managed to take him out, so they're gonna flood forwards here with the high ground. Getting a lot of picks right now as Kresnik is getting caught out on the cart. Massive bomb from Justice though takes out the meds with the help of his conch and does pick up the demo as well. So Justice getting the team on his shoulders, doing everything.
You remember the first round when MI6 were attacking? I mean, Spirit opened the way there. He got the medic pick just now, and that allowed MI6 to kind of flood forward, and it looked like they could roll it. But in the first round, it was Demento who got the med pick, and it slowed them down from rolling onto third. Yep. Justice is the man to do it this time, and that's what I mean when I talk about individuals. I mean, it is obviously a team game, and you need that cohesion, but if an individual can pull off a play like that, taking down the medic and the demo, that's totally stopped MI6 from getting anywhere near third. They don't have the buffs, they don't have the heals, they don't have the demo to kind of deny anything. And that just allows Chess to get set up on third here. As we've said over and over again, the strongest point to defend on Badwater. And we saw how much MI6 struggled on it last time.
Yeah, I mean, Deox again has got this sentry set up. Tracker managed to take down Spirit as well, so that's going to slow them down even more. Vori's doing a good job to try and peek the cart, though, to try and moving it forward as far as he possibly can. As Kufel does have quite a big ad right now, so Torrent needs to be just careful he doesn't get picked off by a bit of a quick Uber here. As they're trying to think about where they want to come in from. I'm surprised they don't just like try and go boiler. They might do when they get their sniper up, possibly.
It's interesting actually. A big bombing, Kufel takes 0 damage from that bomb actually, but Joseph managed to take down Kresnik, so there's not going to be a heavy up in that top area. It costs him his life. Probably not the best trade, but it's a decent trade. Maybe get some space for their sniper. Spirit's actually looking through main right now. But yeah, I mean, Turret stayed alive, they managed to get Uber, not really made any headway. You'd like to throw some bodies in there while your medic's building Uber. You're not doing anything, just standing around. I mean, get your sniper into a stronger position, take a risk. Even if he dies, he's going to respawn by the time you get Uber again. The Uber does come in through the top area, not the best area sometimes if there's a lot of bodies, and they are denying Turret from getting anywhere near there. Counter Uber comes in, and it's just going to force them away. Maybe a dry push coming in now, but everyone on MI6 is very weak. Justice goes down, so a little bit of space, and they've actually rotated, but no, the pipes from Kalis takes down Torrent, no heals. Gorston and Sinrise go head to head. Gorston wins that, gets some revenge on the Belgian Pyro, but everyone on MI6 is so very weak. Kufel is healing the chess players as much as he can. Kufel goes down though! Woolen!
Yeah, it just, I thought that was a face tap, but I don't think it was. But like, yeah, it's coming from the back. Managed to pick it off the mids. Might be a bit of a saving grace, but as I say that, Demento gets to pick onto the demo, and that's going to be massive because Kresnik can just spam as much as he wants with no sticks to deny him, and they do manage to deny the cart for a bit. But yeah, as like for that earlier push, like I think the idea of them rotating all the way around to boiler was good. I think the execution just was a bit off. Like I don't think they had the players they needed to, so it's very unfortunate, really. But they will be coming back in soon.
It's never a face stab, Luck. It's never a face stab. I thought you'd land with that.
I see
it's always a trick stab. You know, every spy intends to get that backstab. But yeah, I mean, equal Ubers now. 140. There's still plenty of time to get to the last point, but they need bodies on the carts. But it actually gets a really nice opening pick there. Takes down Kalis with the headshot. So that's going to really... I mean, if you lose your demo at the same time, it's not that great of a pick. They really need this cap to get those spawns and really start flooding forward. Might start having to think about a dry push here, but they're losing too many players, and they're going to have to rely on this Uber being so destructive it allows them to roll on to last.
Yeah, you can... Okay, never mind, I think let's pause. Unless server's dead, question mark?
I mean, it looks like we're disconnecting, so...
Nice! It's a great climax to that game. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
I'm sending angry messages to people involved in the game, Buck.
That's a good idea. That always gets people talking.
Yes, lost connection to the server. Apparently the server died, says Kufel. They didn't do anything, so...
Get some feels bad man in the chat.
It feels bad, man. Bible thump. We didn't get to see that climax. I'm going to radio cast it. Basically, Torrent decided to Uber Spirit. Spirit walked through main, headshot Kufel, so Kufel dropped.
Headshot 10 people.
And then he headshot everyone else on the team. And then everyone in MI6 pressed W, walked into last. And just as the respawns came in, Woolen did 9 trick stabs simultaneously. That's known as the 9 stab.
That's known as the Ajay top TF2 plays strong opinions chain stab on Babel.
Yeah, it's the strongest move. If you put the right combination on your keyboard, it performs the move. And he trick stabbed everybody, and basically they pushed. But at the last second, Yak, aka Joseph, was like, "Oh guys, look at this!" And then he pressed the kill bind. Everyone thought it was so hilarious. They did it as well, and because they all pressed their kill binds, they ran out of time and didn't cap in time.
That's a tragic story, really.
Yeah, we need some Bible thumps for that. Afterwards, Demento and Tracker were just taunting, and it was very bad. So yeah, Jess taking that 2-0. Sinrise is asking me in chat, did we get his reflex? No, we didn't. Your reflex were terrible. Stop requesting. We've got the best cameraman in Highlander right now, guys. Of course we got those reflex. Taking a look at the logs, and you can probably guess who got the most frags. It was Tracker, getting 20. Actually, the same amount as Sinrise. Sinrise there going 20 for 9. So actually got 4 kills with Deflects that game. So I mean, when you get 2 at the same time with the same Sentry Rockets, that's pretty good. But I mean, if you rank by kills, Buck, the top 7 fraggers are all on chest side. When it comes to damage, actually, Joseph actually got over 1,000 more damage than Tracker, nearly 1,500 more than Kalis. So doing his best with the damage, but dying a lot more than Kalis, dying 10 times more. The thing about Highlander is the 2 most important classes, probably the sniper and your demo. Your medic is important, but you can do a lot with a good sniper and a good demo. And if your demo is dying more than the opposing demo, you're just getting free damage. So, is there any stories that you can depict there from the logs, Buck?
Probably just Tracker not getting taken down as much as he could do. I mean, he took 2,700 damage, which is like Tracker and Demento barely took any damage, like only slightly more than Kufel. So that would say to me that either they're not really getting focused. So, but then again, it's quite hard to focus good assassin classes on this map because you basically need your assassin classes to be as good as theirs to try and contest sometimes. Apart from if you get I don't know, like a bonk feeding scout or I don't know, like a flare gun, like some god flare shot across the map or something. So it can be really difficult, to be fair.
That's true. I mean, Badwater was Chess Club's picks. I keep saying Chess. I'm going to keep saying Chess Club. I apologize to those of you watching who are like, why are you saying Chess Club? It says French Club. Doesn't matter. There'll always be Chess Club to me.
Racist.
I have nothing against French people, for the record. They've just been known as Chess Club for a long time. Actually, they were known as Chess Club Sensation for a while.
Oh, sensation.
That was for the one season that Ruskedy played for them, because he didn't like the name Tourette's Chess Club, so they changed it for him. And then when he left, they changed it back, and now they're French Club. So yeah, a little factoid for you there, Buck.
The more you know.
I'm educating you right now, you're getting some learns. This was, of course, Chess Club's pick. They picked Badwater. You can see, we look at the picks and bans. The second map we're going to be seeing here tonight is Gullywash, which was MI6's pick. And I can kind of see why. When we were talking earlier about the players that are playing for MI6, there are Sixes players, people that you would define as Sixes players, I guess, like Olga on the Tourette's side. But Vori, Charlie, and Yak are very much Sixes orientated players, and those are the classes you want to do well on a 5CP map. Torret as well. So I think this could be, it's obviously a map that they want to play, but I think it could be a stronger map for them.
Yeah, there's definitely potential here. It's going to be a different style of play, obviously. It's a Badwater. Badwater can be very stalematy. I mean, to be fair, Gullywash can be very stalematy as well. I mean, I always feel like Gullywash is one of those maps where it's just back cap central. So people just need to kind of, keep their head on, trap the people that are coming behind them, and just it's about momentum as well, so it's similar to Badwater in that respect, I guess. Because if you get the momentum from mid and get an easy second cap, it's just if you have massive Uberad, you can just sort of wash last and just get onto the point for an easy cap. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree with your point with the Sixes though. It'd be interesting to see if any of the Sixes players do a bit better on this map.
I think it's so key what you just said there about momentum. People I think those people who haven't played much Highlander think, oh, it's 5CP, we'll play it in the same way as Sixes. But you can't just push off of, one pick in Highlander. And often you'll get these stalemates because people, you could get the sniper pick. The sniper pick just means you get more space for your sniper. You get the demo pick, that means you're allowed to peek a little bit further without worrying about a trap, Often we see things like getting an Uber Force and people coming in and just getting denied because of pyros and stuff like that. So it's all about the momentum, that knowing when you've killed enough players and you've got enough ground, we can go to the next point. We can lock down this choke, or we can play the point on last. Sometimes people get a little bit too overeager and they don't have the right picks and they don't have the right numbers up and they don't have the right positions, and then they end up throwing bodies onto the points and kind of dying. And I think it happens so often that we see people winning a fight on second and then wiping on last because, they think they can go all the way forward. I know that when I played this map this season, I played it a lot. We had Funds on our team, and he did so much work just kind of running around and fragging. And if the scouts can do that here today, that's going to be really important because if you open up space on the flank, it allows everyone else to kind of to get in.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those maps where having a good flank and having the control of that flank is going to be very important. Like, there's times where your combo might push through choke, and if your flank has control of Big Door, you can essentially just wrap them into River, and just sort of like get an easy force, or like force them into a position that they really don't want to be in, and then you just wipe them all the way to last then. So it's just really about being attentive and just sort of watching the flank. Also respecting the high ground as well. Like, I think, back to your point of like where people kind of feed in, or get a bit overzealous and trying to push. If they don't respect the high ground, especially on second, when they have like all their heals up there and they're trying to push like Big Door, for example, it can be kind of a bit of a mess. But I think we are about to go live.
We are going live, so this is map number 2. Apparently wrong config, so we'll see how that plays out in the end. But it will be Tourette's French Club in the red. They are 1 map to the good, winning their home map of Badwater 2-0. Whereas MI6, aka Majesty's Secret Service, they're in the blue. They need to win this map to stay in, otherwise they will not be playing Prem. The first frag of the mid goes to Spirit, taking down Olga. He also takes down Sinrise, and he takes down Kefel as well.
Gosh.
Oh my days, he has turned on. Tracker goes down as well. So he's going to be uncontested. Diox gets cleaned up. So many weak players left on chess. And wow, did not expect such a dominating mid fight from MI6, but they are ready for this map, Buck.
I'm not sure what happened. Like, I don't know if they're all spawners, but like I just pressed tab and there were like loads of people alive for MI6, and I have no idea where they were. But I think they might have just realised the config problem, so we might be back to square one.
I mean, the config is easily fixed. You just kind of
exec.
I mean, you can just exec, but yeah, doing that resets the map. So, yeah, you can just put win limit and win difference. This is something that unnerves me a lot, Buck, when people have the wrong config on. You just type in win limit, win difference, time limit, bam, you're good to go. You know, it's not rocket science, but
I feel like you need to mentor people on the ways of the config.
Make a video. Have you started a Highlander or Sixes game with the wrong config? Fear not. Type these 3 simple commands into the console, and you'll be good to go without actually restarting the game. But we'll see what happens. Whether this is a pause or a config exec, we'll see what is going on. It's definitely. Oh no, we're unpausing here. We'll see what's happening. We're looking at Woolen and Demento trying to shank each other there. And actually a couple of frags coming in from Chess. So Chess are capping mid.
Yeah, despite Spirit's efforts, like I said before, I don't know where the team went. Like, Spirit got all the picks. They were like 2 up, and then I don't know, they just were non-existent. So yeah, they're gonna get mid. Yeah,
they had Chess had 2 players alive. Yeah. How do they win the mid fight 2v8? I don't understand. Chess are just flooding into second now. They're getting so much aggression. Ballsy here is the first one forward. He's getting spammed by Justice. Has to be careful. Big bomb from Charlie. He's going to land right on the check. 1 rocket onto Kefel. He is so weak. Goes down. I can't even see the HP. It was that minuscule. It was a millimeter on my screen. But he does survive. And MI6 are pushed all the way to last.
Yeah, he has a big Uber advantage here. So we'll be interested to see if they run like a level 3 or something to try and deny this Uber. They're going to be flooding through River, no pun intended, as they try and come and get onto this last point. Charlie's going to be looking to go very far forwards on Soldier here as the Uber comes out. Pyro doing the best he can, Gorson air blasting through his life, as TK does have a level 1 on the point. Not really many people on it, but as I say that, just as the Simrise coming from behind, sticks on it, but the air blast mechanic does exist, and they're going to get the count.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, despite the best efforts of Spirit there, Chess taking it point to point and taking the first round, and that's going to be a bit of a momentum killer. I mean, everyone must have been hyped there, just thinking, yeah, we're winning this mid fight, and then you lose the round. Bit of an uphill battle right now for MI6, but there's still plenty of time to go. 27 minutes. Joseph starting to go to choke. He's got Vori for company, and Chess are actually getting aggressive on this side. Gorson's going to have to do a lot of reflecting here to try and keep his team alive. Woolen and Spirit go down early on, but Vori cleans up the demo. No demo from this red fight, but Justice and Kresnik are just destroying. Torek goes down, and the rest of the players are just melting away. 3 up here. TK is one of them in Big Door, but it's not really much he can do to stop this onslaught from Chess. And they just took the enemy side buck and just kind of held W and went in.
I think Justice like almost single-handedly just won them that mid. Like, I don't know. I think you saw probably a bit of like what he did, but like he literally just went into banana, held W, held M1, and just spamming rockets, and just did absolutely everything in their banana and forced them out. He got the sniper pick, like even though he probably didn't even intend to as well on his way in. So they're gonna get the point for this, and massive advantage on Kufel again.
Yeah, they have lost a few players, including Demo and Soldier. Those are 2 players. Ideally, you really want them in this last push. That explosion damage really helps when you're trying to clear people off that point. We do see Joseph there taking down Deox in lobby. He's getting aggressive, and this is where he was getting picked off in Badwater, but he's got a bit more players for company here on Gullywash. Ballsy watching this upper area. Tracker goes very weak. And actually look at Tori, he's at 80% right now. So they may be able to get this Uber before Chess push into last. It's taken them that long to actually get into a position to move. And it doesn't look like we have another pause here, Buck.
Oh, why do they do this?
It was a bait pause. We're live again.
Debated. It's gonna be a river push, okay? But they're what? Okay, a scout. What server? Okay, I think it's.
Just this mini.
What is going on?
This mini sentry has just destroyed an Uber. So if you ever, I mean, it just shows the power engineer. Valve, please fix. That mini sentry is way too strong. The fact that it killed everyone in an Uber.
It's just too OP.
Yeah, it does look like we're switching servers. Technical issues.
It's that strong. It made them all time out. It's
yeah, I mean, it's still firing. It's taking down Deox now as well. Like, I want to see the kill feed for this sentry. He's a champion.
Just get the logs on the 1 sentry.
Yeah, it's probably more frags than I got last season. I mean, just in the space of 10 seconds.
Okay, Justice is still fighting for the point apparently.
Will this count though? I mean, just Ballsy's looking the wrong way. 8 oh no,
He's
Justice is on the point. Huge plays. TK runs in, cannot win it. So Justice, this is now Justice versus MI6. Yeah.
They're actually rejoining? Like what? Are they not getting it?
I think we're going to be changing server. I think I don't think that round's going to count, guys. I think the fact that half the server timed out means we'll be starting from kind of like an even point. So 1-0, 25 minutes to go. I mean, Chess did have Uber and so did MI6, so maybe they'll try to get into those positions, or we'll see how it goes. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, just to recap here, for everyone who may be just joining a little bit late, this is the preseason playoffs. This is to see who will qualify for the Premiership Division in Season 15. We've had 3 teams that were confirmed before the qualifiers. 2 of them earlier in the week managed to seal their place while winning their games. Failure Esports was one. The other was Open Squad. And finally, we have the lower bracket. So these are the teams that got knocked out from the upper bracket. They have 1 chance. If they lose a game, they are knocked out. They have to play in the division below. If they win, there will be. It's like, well, I mean, anyone seen the film Highlander? You seen the film Highlander, Buck?
Unfortunately, no.
I mean, you're like 12. Of course you haven't.
Yeah, that's true.
So Highlander. There can only be one, where the dude's got the sword and he goes around like killing everybody.
Another quote. That's as far as my knowledge on Highlander.
Basically,
the movie
there can
goes.
only be one. Yeah, there can only be one. And that's why Highlander's called Highlander. There can only be one of each class. Haha. But basically, there are 4 teams left in these qualifiers. The other game going on at the moment is Wasp versus Lil Team. The winner of that will go through to the lower bracket final to face the winner of this game. And the winner of the lower bracket final will be the one and only team to take that final spot in the Prem Division. Of course, we saw earlier on Chess Club picked Badwater and they won it 2-0 fairly comfortably. MI6 have picked Gullywash, but so far, after 5 minutes into the game, they are 1-0 down. And I mean, is there anything that they can kind of change here, Buck? Is it just like an unlucky round, or what's going on in these mid fights?
I'll be honest, I got absolutely no idea, because they kind of just like, well, the first one especially, they should have just took, but their team just sort of disappeared. They didn't really play around their mid or like get any positioning whatsoever, like after the fight, and after like Spirit got all those picks before. So I don't know. They just need to work on their mids, and like, or if they're not going to win their mid, they need to like try and keep their mid alive, because like having the Uber disad is not great. I mean, that time they didn't have it. They were going to exchange Ubers, but we didn't get to see the rest of the fight because servers are a pain.
Servers are indeed a pain. But hey, that's what happens with esports. I mean, I guess in real sports, it's like, I don't know.
Real life lag.
The stadium, everyone's left the stadium. We have to move to another stadium now or something. I don't know.
Extreme example.
Extreme. Oh no, there's been an earthquake and the stadium collapsed. Let's just, put the basketball in your. I mean, yeah, V just said raining during tennis. I guess that was the simplest ones. I mean, yeah, just having to reschedule. But we are into a new server now, and we are same players, same teams. Nothing's changed. We're just gonna blink and pretend that none of that actually happened. But yeah, I mean, it just seems that Chess are just being so aggressive on the mid fights. They're not scared. I guess they're one map to the good. They can kind of take a few risks. The third map, if we do go to it, is going to be Upward. That was basically the only map that didn't get picked or banned by either team. And yeah, I mean, Upward's another payload map. So I'm guessing Chess are going to be feeling comfortable based on what they've just done against MI6. Probably thinking a lot of these guys aren't comfortable with payload and Highlander orientated maps. So, even if we lose here, we'll be pretty comfortable if we has to go to a best of 3. So they're taking a lot of risks, and it's paying off for them because MI6 can't really counter the aggression, but it looks like we are readied up now. So just to clarify, MI6 in the blue have to win this map, otherwise they are out. Whereas Chess Club in the red, winning this map, they will be into the next round and one match away from qualifying for Prem. And I do think that, yeah, they're basically MI6 are giving Chess the midpoint, and we'll see if they give them second as well, or what happens. I think they are. Just to make it fair as to where we were when the server crashed earlier on.
I like how Gorson didn't really stick with the deal, and he's just fed out on a second. I mean, there is sticks on lobby, and there's a teleporter X right next to the shutter in lower. So TK trying to bait his team there. Maybe Gorson will take it after he comes up. That'll be pretty hilarious if he does.
I like how Yak was just looking out the window there. Like, Gorson's like, I'm going to get a frag. Yak's just staring out the window, it's fine. But yeah, here we were. Back to where we were, guys. Tracker on balcony now. Going for a hero pick. Gets taken down by Spirit instead. Unable to drop turret. But both medics have Uber now. And it's about kind of who can basically get the biggest pick to make a move. And it's not always just getting an Uber drop,
It's only about that Uber drop. That's the ultimate strat. It's about that Uber drop in a river. But Kufel is very far back right now. Krasnik trying to peek in here. There's the mini is in the same place. And if the mini holds up to its legacy, it's going to kill about 6 people. But no, it goes down.
Charlie's actually spawn camping. He took down Tracker and Demento as they came out to spawn. He's actually trying to back out, but there's a lot of people for Chess on the last point. They have to get bodies on there. Joseph doing the best he can. Actually does help clean up everyone's spirit there, using his SMG to actually survive. Kufel hitting that kill bind in the end, just to respawn with his team. He's going to get a later respawn regardless. I mean, there are only 4 players left, but Charlie there pretty much winning the point by himself with that spawn camp. There was a bit of spy versus spy shenanigans on last, and that allowed Charlie to make some space and basically backcap. So Torrent now with an Uber advantage, Buck, and this is the chance for MI6 to make something happen.
Yeah, they're sitting over by this choke area though. Tracker is in the common sniper spot, sort of just taking some cover behind the fence as Yak is trying to make some space here, kind of by himself. But Tracker does get the best of Spirit, so that's not going to be very good for their mid push right here as Yak somehow stays alive on 4 health. So they do manage to keep their demo alive for this bit of push that might be trying to come in right now.
I mean, you only need 1 health. after all. I mean, as long as you're alive, you're alive, right? Hubert does come in here, 75% for Kufel. He is so far back in choke. The only person forward was Sinrise, and he just tried to deny the Uber as best he couldn't. Yeah, Joseph there, Kresnik does get taken down, but he takes down the demo in exchange. Probably a decent exchange from his point of view. And actually, MI6 don't manage to get the point, but Kufel goes down. Gorston, this is Pyro in 2018, people. Protect your medics. Don't allow Pyros to get that close. They should be touching your medics. Manages to get the med pick. It doesn't matter though, because MI6 are just bleeding players left, right, and centre. And Tracker does what Tracker does and takes down Torret.
Yeah, Woolen trying to return the favour onto him and just get the frag. This is like a really sloppy mid-fight though. Like, everyone is kind of coming in back and forth right now. Like, despite his fight on mid, while they're actually capping second. Gorston and Olga just trying to take that cap. As Dementor's trying to work his way in through the cloaks from lower. I think they might try and hold last here as... well, Kufel's actually dead again.
Yeah, Vori took down Kufel.
Oh dear.
It was pretty clutch play, I guess, because that means that they have heals, and Chess don't, and that's basically Chess can't contest. They're just getting spammed out, and MI6 are all over the second point right now. 60% in the bank for them, making their way towards mid, and you know, Tracker down, Justice down, no spam for the flank, and no instant death for people walking in through the choke. And that's allowed Spirit to get some space, but it does look like we're having more technical issues. Think we are going to have to change server again. Managed to make it another few minutes into the game, but this is looking more promising for MI6 right now. I mean, Vori and Charlie, maybe not kind of destroying everyone, but they're making these plays, and they're kind of getting frags and taking down key classes and getting backups, and that's what MI6 need right now. They need that disruption, and if their flank is playing that well, then you know that allows their combo a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah, definitely, because it means they can just walk across the point a bit easier. Like, they can spam them out of choke, have better trades, and try and get the way eventually onto their last and try and get a point off this. But yeah, I think we're all going to be changing server. I mean, do you think with the time left, like, well, I mean, 20 minutes-ish, or just a bit over, like, do you think they'll be able to possibly make the CUN or come back, like, 3-2? I mean, what are your sort of predictions so far in terms of what's going on?
I mean, 1-0, is it 1-0 or 2-0?
I think it's 2-0 at the moment.
Sure, it's
or is it 1-0?
Bug.
On the
Yeah, because we had that kind of ghost round, didn't we, where Justice kind of soloed against everyone when everyone was lagged out. I mean, 1-0, 20 minutes to go, you're still totally in it. I think the only time you need to start to worry is if you're sort of a couple of rounds down with 5 minutes to go. When you've got that position, you know physically it's possible. You only need about a minute to go from coast to coast. But if you don't kind of get, like, you don't get a rocket up your backside and start pressuring really quickly, then you're not going to have enough time to make it actually happen. Like, you need the hero plays every second, which aren't always going to occur when you're under that pressure. And if the enemy team plays accordingly, then they know how to just kind of adapt to that. And if Chess are smart, if they get another round, they can just kind of wait for MI6 to feed people in. So I think the key thing for MI6 is to keep a level head and keep playing that way they're playing, but make sure that they kind of get in and not make a mistake. Don't drop a demo. Don't drop your medic or anything like that.
Yeah, I think, like, as long as they don't rush, like, you know, have respect for the time that's there, go off the picks, like, you know, find the picks that are, like, possibly available for them. Put focus on, like, you know, if they need the picks, but focus on, like, their actual pick classes, you know, like Soldier and Sniper and Spy, and then coordinate with them. And then I think it makes the pushes, like, a lot easier. Especially if you manage to get the mid. Like, I think Kufel has been, like, staying alive decently. So maybe if they manage to get more med frags and have a bit more heal advantage, they might be able to get the points a bit easier. But I'm going to try and get into the server right now.
Yeah, looks like we are joining another server. It's still the same map, guys. For those of you just joining us, it is the preseason playoffs. Kritzcast has been covering them all week. On Monday, we saw the first round of the upper bracket, And we saw Failure Esports beat Tourette's Chess Club over 2 maps very comfortably indeed. We saw Majesty's Secret Service, aka MI6, knocking out Lil Team to the lower bracket. Into the next round, we had Open Squad and we had Wasp, the higher seeds of the qualifiers, only having to play 1 game to try and qualify for Prem. And Open Squad took their role as the top seeds to heart and managed to beat MI6, whereas Wasp had a bit of a tougher time for it. Had some really good early rounds, but did not win in the end, and it was Failure Esports who cemented their place in Prem alongside Open Squad. And with 1 space left, we are into the lower bracket now. These teams have 1 more chance to get in. 4 teams left, 1 spot to fight for. Lil Team playing against Wasp, and here we are covering Tourette's French Club, against MI6. The winner will go through to the lower bracket final. The loser will be out. And so far it's looking like Tourette's French Club are the more likely team to do that. They won Badwater, their map of choice, 2-0. We move on to Gullywash, which was MI6's pick, and they did beat Lil Team 5-0 on it. And that's a team with the likes of Demos on Demo, who has been doing decently in Prem 6s and has played on some low Prem teams in Highlander as well. But it's not going swimmingly for them, shall we say. Chess Club taking the first round, so they are 1 round to the good with about 20 minutes to go. And yeah, we're just talking about how MI6 can get back into this game. Is there any player you feel really needs to kind of turn up? We're talking about Spirit doing really well on Badwater so far, and you know, some interesting picks. Vori and Charlie on the flank have been doing okay so far. But is there anyone you feel is not maybe underperforming, but who really needs to put in a 5-star performance?
Well, if you want to look at it as a comparison, like I really feel like Demento has been doing a lot, but like Woolen hasn't had the same effect. Like it was kind of the same on Badwater as well. Like he got some decent picks in certain times, which may have got them the objectives they needed. But like overall, I think he could probably do with getting like more tracker picks or coming in at the right moments and getting the Q4 picks. And I think that would possibly change the tide of the game a bit better. But I mean, I say that, but they are doing a really good job of actually kind of staying together. I've noticed they do clump a lot, Chess Club. So because they clump quite a lot as a team and play around the heels, it can be quite difficult for a spy to get in, especially on a map like this where like the places you've got to stand can be quite small.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's accurate analysis, really. It's kind of, I think we're going to be doing a mid-fight here. I'm so sorry, I was reading an interesting discussion in the chat where Bullsy, the heavy for MI6, was saying, I feel we were going to win that fight, so yeah, let's just do a mid-fight. And Kalis responds saying, no, I was going to kill 3 of you with a sticky trap. So, different interpretations of what was actually happening during that previous fight. We'll have to see what happens, whether we just start off with another mid-fight. About 22 minutes to go of this game. And there is that pressure element as well. I mean, we can talk about player abilities and team cohesion and stuff like that, but there is that mental aspect. Some players, I don't want to say choke, but haven't played as much high pressure games, and this is a high pressure game if you want to look at it that way, because if you lose, you're done for. Like you don't get into Prem, and if you really want to play in Prem, then you need to do well. And maybe some of the players on the French club team here, the likes of Kresnik and Tracker, they've all played in high pressure situations, Prem playoffs and UGC Platinum finals, things like that, whereas maybe not as many experienced Highlander players on MI6.
Yeah, it's like, well, I think the pressure element here is mainly down to the fact that here, I think possibly they're being judged a bit more, because it's make or break, since obviously either you get into Prem like you say, or you don't. And if you're not in Prem, it's like, especially for some of these previous Prem players, that they might take that as like quite a bit of a shock maybe, or like a bit of a difference in gameplay, or like in seriousness of how they want to play the game. So yeah, it's definitely a lot to play for here.
That is true. I mean, you got to kind of keep that at the back of your mind and just focus on the game in hand. Just say, get your head into the game, get into the zone, you know. And we are into a new zone here. We are onto repeating a mid-fight. So it is 1-0 to Tourette's French Club right now. And again, we can see Chess Club deciding to get really aggressive on this side, but Ballsy's wise to it this time. Sorry, Sinrise goes down, but Justice again with the bomb is going to take down Torret. Lots of players dying on either side, but Kufel has stayed alive for French Club. Look how weak everybody is. Oh, Deox gets a couple of kills there. Willen manages to take down Justice with the revolver. And Vori is going to try and fight Kresnik here. Demento and Spirit are there. Spirit takes down Tracker. He's going to get forced away by the Spy. And that was I want to say interesting mid-fight, Buck, because it looked like Chess Club's aggression there was finally being kind of, not countered, but worked out by MI6.
Yeah, they definitely countered it a bit better than they did before. The one thing they didn't counter though, or count on, was Justice, because he keeps bombing that same place. He's done it like 3 times now, and they still don't manage to pick him off, and he just does so much damage, and like picks off the mid in the mid-fight especially. So they just need to be really careful of him, I think, as the Uber does come through this choke. Soldier's above though, he's gonna jump out. Ballsy is still being quite ballsy up here, gotta admit, as Willen tries to go for his cheeky uncloak, but a lot of players around the mid there, so not gonna find much. Charlie goes for a massive bomb up on the mid, gets 1 rocket onto him, but he's really low and does go down, so they're gonna try and refight this, I think.
Yeah, they've got a lot of picks. There's only about 4 players alive for Chess right now. Gorston gets aggressive. And, wow, Spirit is going to pick up 2 crucial kills there. Kalis and Kresnik, 2 of the Ks, and the 3rd K is going to go down there to Gorston. That is, of course, Kufel, the medic. So huge advantage, huge man advantage right now for MI6, but also they're going to be able to build a bit of an Uber advantage. It's going to be about 30%-ish, and that's not huge, especially on a 5 CP in Highlander, but it should be enough for them to take some ground here. They're already... some of the people are chasing back on second, but they're just kind of consolidating mid here, and maybe they want to slow it down and get some picks, because Spirit's been holding his own so far.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised they were slow as they were. I guess they kind of just wanted to regroup a bit, which is fair enough. But I mean, they probably could have made some space for a big door, as the combo has kind of rotated into this upper area, climbed up here. They know the advantage is in their favour. Ooh. Yak almost getting picked off there by the sniper by a nice headshot, but just stay alive for now. As Tracker has got a pretty decent sight line to this, they need to consider whether they need to Uber before they lose this out there.
Yeah, I mean, Chess deciding to go for this this high hold, and the 2 combo players there die. Joseph and Ballsy dying to a Tracker and Kalis there, and then a backstab from Demento is going to drop Torret, and that is the catalyst. You can see Chess Club are already in through choke. They're in on mid, like they didn't need telling twice. As soon as that medic dropped, they were in, and they've actually been forced though. Pretty well played there. And some of the MI6 players stayed behind just to get the force, and that does mean it's going to be equal Ubers, so they may not have to give up secondly. They've got forward spawns as well. So they just have to be careful. If they bleed too many players here, this could be a round loss, but actually they may be able to hold this.
Yeah, if I was Kresnik then earlier, like I probably would have peeked that at least to see how like close they were, because like Yak was just alone in that choke, and the scout knows this. He just managed to get that frag as well, so no damage to the nice choke. It'd be quite big. Kresnik is getting a lot of hours as well. Just managed to pick up Ghost, and can he get Vori? No, he just get picked off since he was on quite low health. Torret taking some spam as well, but they don't have Uber actually at the moment, so they need to just sort of be careful trying to push through here, getting a bit too eager. But gonna be a bit of a peak war at this choke, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, we start to get to these stalemates now where someone tries to get a pick and tries to, you know, work out. Charlie gets the whip kill.
Get whipped.
Get whipped. I mean, that's one way of taking out the sniper. I'm just going to give it a little bit of space for Spirit to getting an angle. He's over on flank with TK and Woolen for company. And I don't know, I feel Spirit hasn't got the Razorback, so MI6 should just be like, get in with the combo, heal him up. You know, he's got a buff. I'm just going to check Tracker. He's still running the Razorback, so he's not going to have a buff. So, you know, if you manage to buff your sniper and actually, you know, you're going to win the SVS, then that's going to get you enough picks.
I think I might just quit TF2, CJ.
Just quit
This,
TF2.
right now. Yeah, just leave every roster. Just uninstall.
Are you uninstalling now?
Yeah, yeah, BRB guys, just uninstalling. This is kind of stupid, to be fair. Like, what? What's going on with the? Is it serve me servers or something? Is it a DDoS? Is it people lagging?
Who knows? Who knows? Technical issues. Let's not give people attention they don't deserve.
I'm gonna blame that
But
whip
it
kill.
does look like it's the whip kill. It was the whip kill from Charlie, just whipping Tracker. It's too much for the server to handle. But we're probably going to call it a night, guys. Let these guys finish their game in peace. So as it stands, with just over half the map to go, Tourette's French Club are 1-0 up on Gullywash. We'll see if MI6 are able to come back. If they don't come back on this map and score at least a round to keep themselves in it, Tourette's French Club will be going to the lower bracket final, which we'll be trying to bring to you maybe tomorrow. We'll see when it gets scheduled. And the winner of Wasp versus Little Team will be the team to face them. Of course, the lower bracket final yields only one winner for that one place left in Premiership. So, Buck, any final words before we call it a night?
Well, there's one word actually about the 1 day cup on Sunday for the Prolander, which I think will be casted here on Critscast. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So that's something else to look forward to this weekend. But yeah, it's kind of a disappointment to see like these servers issues kind of interrupting everything. Shout out to Woolen, just solo capping is the only remaining player in the server. So,
just running around the cap, giving his I guess he's streaming, so maybe giving his viewers something to watch. But yeah, there we go, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the action we did manage to present to you. And as Buck said, there is a one-day cup for Europeans to try out the 7v7 Prolander format. Sigafu is bringing RGL to Europe and bringing this this cup, which we'll be casting. I'll be there in some form or another. I'm not sure which games I'll be casting just yet, but you'll be listening to me and Sigafu at some point talking about 7v7. I haven't got that much experience about it, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Of course, any other Highlander in the future will be covered by Critscast. That's going to include, but not limited to, of course, ETF12 Season 15, which is coming up soon, the playoffs of UGC Platinum, and of course, the Copenhagen Games, which are happening in less than 2 weeks, which include a €3,000 prize pool for the Highlander tournament alone. So if you want to check out those games, be sure to follow Critscast. Check out their Patreon as well to support the people who run the site. And hopefully we'll see you next time.